How is it going then, everybody? I hope you're all doing very well. Welcome back to another video here on our channel. I'm the FIFA Analyst, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the meta passes that you can use on FIFA 21. There's lots of different ways, obviously, to pass on FIFA, and it's about choosing the right pass at the right time to make sure that you're creating as much chances as possible to score as many goals to get the most amount of wins. If you enjoy the video, please do give it a like. You can also subscribe to the channel, and all the other second channel, all the stuff, that sort of stuff is in the description box below. So then let's talk about it. First of all, what sort of passes are we going to use? I'm not going to go into these because this is a pretty simple one. You've got a ground pass, which is where you just press the A button or the X button. This is the pass that you're going to use pretty much most of the time. Inside your own half, it's a normal pass. Passing it around on the edge of the box, it's a normal pass. Anything that you want to go to feet, it is a simple normal pass. I'm not going to go into this too much because you should be using them as your go-to passes throughout the whole of FIFA as a general rule of thumb. Now, the next one that we're going to look at using is a through ball, which is where you use the Y button or the triangle button. Now, it's a little bit more precise in terms of when you want to be using this. So ideally, you want to use a through ball, and we'll show you some examples in a minute. When you want to lay the ball off into someone's path, when they want to run on to the ball, that's when we're going to look to use it. So you can see here now, we want to go ahead and we want to look at playing the son in behind. This is the time to use the through ball button. Why? For the simple fact of we have loads of room to run into behind the defensive line. I see a lot of people using through balls in areas that you don't really want to use a through ball. So a pass from like the middle, from your centre back to your centre mid. Why? Because it means that if they have their centre mids and their centre mids can come and close down and make that ball a 50-50 ball. You want to use the through ball when you are playing it directly into a path that is free to play the pass. You've got your player running onto the ball and it's nice and simple. How much power are we looking for this? Depends on how, obviously, the distance of the pass. So the further the pass, we might look for about 3 bars of power. The closer the pass, 1.5 to 2 bars of power as a general rule. You can use this to cut open the defense, to break through that back line and get obviously onto the goalkeeper to go ahead and take the shot and score a goal. So you can just see here, we've got loads of time on the ball to lay it in. If you did that to a ground pass, Mane would stutter and he'd hold, he'd hold his line. And by that point, the defense has caught up and they're now with him. Now, when you play the through ball, the best advice to you is that if you've got time to keep running, obviously forward, you can then look to use the sprint button to carry on going. You can use the R2, the RT button. If the goalkeeper comes rushing out or a defender comes rushing out, you might want to not hold the sprint. But ideally, when you play these through balls, you can run onto the ball quick. You want to keep up that pace and then obviously have the speed to go through. Really, really effective on FIFA 21. I find so many people use them in the wrong way, where they use them in the middle of the pitch, and that's the way that they lose a ball. So just remember, loads of space to run into. We use a through ball. If you're in the middle of the pitch and you're just passing it around, just stick with your normal ground passes. They are the easiest thing to do. So now you've got like a driven pass, which used to be really effective on FIFA 18. This is where you do RB and A and R1 and X. This driven pass, right? A lot of people say to me at times, how do I fizz the ball so quick to my players? How do I pass the ball around and make it look like the power passes are driven? This is how we use the R1X, the RBA, and I use this to kind of pass it into the striker's feet or out to the wingers, out to the left back, out to the right back. What do you need to look for when you are playing these passes? You need to make sure that the person that you're laying the pass into has time to receive the ball and that they don't have loads of pressure on them. If you're playing an RB pass into a striker's feet and he's got 3 men around him, they're going to take a heavier touch. You're whizzing the ball along the ground and to their feet. One of the worst things you can do when you do this pass is hold the sprint button. When you hold the sprint button, when you receive a pass, the touches go woo, woo, woo everywhere, right? So you need to make sure you've got time to take this touch. As a general rule, one of the easiest ways to actually make sure you're taking a good touch with a ball is to take the touch away from the defender. So if the defender's here and we want to take that, we want to take it away from him. So we're not taking a touch into him because that's going to give him a chance to win that ball. And just make sure that you're just holding the left stick and you can do it. Sometimes you can play like the first time pass back off. Sometimes you can play an RB a R1X pass into the striker's feet inside the box, and they will take the touch to kind of duke out the defender, but definitely they have a time and a place. But as a general rule, if you want to play it into their feet and you want to, whiz it across, you might want to use it in areas where, maybe Kante is going to come across and cover that simple pass that you're going to look for. That RBA, the R1X, just makes the pass a little bit quicker, a little bit harder to intercept. Now you have also got a driven threaded through ball. I use these a lot on FIFA 21. RBY, R1 triangle on PlayStation. Really, really easy to use. I use these as a general rule to cut open the defensive line. Now, it's a driven pass, right? It's very precise, and the way they hit the ball is very unique compared to a normal through ball. A normal through ball can at times be quite easy to read. I use the driven through balls on the wing a lot. So if I pick up the ball with the left back, if we went for a normal through ball now, he would probably just play it through there. As a general rule for me, when I do the RBY, the R1 triangle, they keep the ball more round the outside, which is really, really useful to get the ball in behind. When you pick up the ball with your left attacking mid, your right attacking mid, right mid, left mid, lay it back off to the left back, send them on a run with L1, and then look for that pass down the line, and you will beat the defender. It's such a good ball for me. It's something that I look for a lot and very effective for. You can see here, using the full width of the pitch and managing to just break through with Zaha. Make sure you give it a go. It's a really, really good through ball for you to use, and definitely has a time and a place on FIFA 21. So those are some of the passes that I've been using so far. As you can see, Rashford goes ahead and pops that one into the back of the net. And I think with passes, they're one of them ones. This year, don't get me wrong, passing is, in my opinion, a little bit broken. You aim in the direction that you want, you make sure you put the power on it, and sometimes it doesn't always go there. What I would remind you is that passing is assisted. So if you're pointing in that direction, but you only put 1 bar of power on, even the guy up above who's closer, the game will divert and go, no, the power bar is where you're going to do it. So just make sure that the analog stick where you're pointing it matches the the power that you're going to do. So if you want to play it to someone close to you, less power. If you want to play it to someone further away, but it's in the same direction as someone else, you need to put more power when you are doing it. So just make sure you do that. And there was an example just to show you some different through balls. We did a driven pass there, then we did the R1 triangle, the RBY passes, and you can see there an RBY one. Look at it, it's just an inch perfect pass. I'm telling you, it's such a good one for you guys to use. So make sure you put it in your locker. Look at it there again, using it. As I said, it's one of the ones that I use the most on FIFA 21. Now, one pass that I use a little bit, but not a massive amount, is an over-the-top through ball, LBY, L1 triangle. You can use square or X instead of these, which is a lot more manual. But the LBY, the L1 triangle passes, it's a through ball, but essentially it's just over the top ever so slightly. So if you've got someone that you see in a great bit of space, so out here, we've got obviously Rashford coming through and wanting to attack that space. If you look at it, you might go, you know what, if I play that normal through ball, it might get intercepted. I'm not too keen on that. So instead you go for the over the top through ball where you use the L1 and triangle. You have to get the power right. You have to make sure that you are very precise with this. They are a little bit harder to pull off, but if you've got room to lay someone in and you've got someone in the way, look for the L1 triangle, the LBY, and that can work quite well for you. As I said, not something that I use too often, but when there is a time and a place, you can do it. You can just see a little dink ball over the top there. Really, really effective. And the reason why I probably don't use them too much is because I'll be honest, I don't actually get in behind that often when it comes to FIFA 21. Like, I don't get that chance too often because the defensive line is normally a little bit deeper. So those are the passes that I use. I don't use the double tap passes as much as I probably should. They're still effective. We talked about them last year all the time. You can use them in certain scenarios. But yeah, those are kind of the ones that I use. Let me know exactly what sort of passes you guys use on FIFA 21. And if there's any ones that I've missed that you think should be used a little bit more, pop them down in the comment section below. If you did enjoy this video, please do give it a big thumbs up. Let me know what videos you want to see in the future. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.